Darling, I am defense and guilty. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I'm here to review part 1 of the reunion to the Real Housewives who didn't get a shout out from the Grand Dame of Potomac. We start the reunion off with everybody arriving in New York City, or at least almost everybody. They start getting ready, they're getting glammed up, and one by one they make their way out to the stage. And of course, we're gonna talk about the set design, the seating placement, and the looks. The set was based on their cast trip to Panama. I thought it was cute. It would have been crazy if they would have designed it like the highway with the tree that Karen hit, since that was the main topic this episode. That would have been insane, but the set looks cute. So one by one they come out, and Mia, this was all the foreshadowing we needed to see how this reunion was going to play out for you so far, because as Mia's coming out, she trips, and I'm not sure if she tripped on the stage, her dress, or her lies, but she tripped, and I'm like, yeah, Mia, it's just not looking good for you so far. But regardless, we're going to start with the left side of the couch. At the very end, we have Stacey. She's sitting in the right spot, her dress is pretty, her hair, she could have done something different, but then the whole look starts looking a little too suspicious. Did anybody notice that she is wearing Kenya Moore's season 7 reunion dress to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? And what have I been saying since episode 1 this season? That Stacey is secretly Kenya Moore in disguise. You cannot tell me anything different. Why? Because Kenya got fired from the Real Housewives of Atlanta, so Kenya thought, if I invent this character of Stacey, because Stacey's not even a real person, if I invent this character of Stacey and sneak over to Potomac, then technically I'm still in the Real Housewives universe. Like, Kenya, I'm not stupid. I know your tricks. You can't tell me that she is not sitting right next to Wendy, and that TJ is not secretly Walter in disguise. Like, come on now, Kenya, you're not fooling anybody, but regardless, Kenya, you look good. Then we have Wendy. She's sitting in the middle, understandable, I guess. Her dress is beautiful, her hair looks good, she looks good. Then we have Mia, the first chair, and with the way that circus of a relationship, marriage, threesome, whatever you want to call it nowadays is, I wouldn't place her anywhere else. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jacqueline was sitting right underneath her between the seat cushion, ready to pop out and confess some other crazy thing that her and Mia have done together. Like, hey, do you know that me and Mia used to 69? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. As for her look, in the words of Phaedra Parks, I'm not crazy about the look. She doesn't look bad. She doesn't look good. She's just kind of there. Then we have Giselle. She's the first chair on the other couch. And she's only the first chair because Karen is pretending to go get her life together. Otherwise, Karen will be the first chair. So technically, Giselle, you're just the seat filler. As for her look, her hair looks good. The dress looks good. I love the little, with the little slit at the hip. I'm like, oh, look at Giselle trying to get Jamal back. Pastor Holy Horse watching this reunion from his bed next to his girlfriend like, wait a minute. Maybe I should text Giselle tonight and try things out again. And maybe try not to cheat this time. But Giselle, she looks beautiful. Then we have Ashley Darby sitting next to her. She should be sitting in front of Michael Darby trying to ask for some alimony. I still cannot believe that she got nothing from being with that zombie for all these years. Like, you got nothing? Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, you don't love yourself. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, then she got with this Jack Harlow wannabe. Anyways, but she looks good. I love the dress. She looks nice. Then we have the Sesame Street fighter, Kiarna. Honestly, she should be sitting in the back with Jazzy because what did she really contribute to the season? But regardless, she looks beautiful. Overall, Giselle had the best look at this reunion. Evil wins again. Andy starts it off by saying the obvious. Well, we all know that the Grand Drunk is not here today because she has 7 charges against her. And I'm like, damn, Andy, shh. Can you whisper that next time? Like, I know we all know that Karen is being charged with. Damn, like, keep it a secret. And he's like, what does everybody think of that? Because Karen has checked herself into a private recovery center. And I'm like, is that like a nicer way of saying rehab, or is that a whole different thing? Like, let me know. So Giselle, she starts it off by saying, well, I'm glad that Karen, she lives in this world of delusion. I'm like, so do you, but okay. She lives in this world of delusion, but, I'm glad to know that she's getting help for herself. I'm really glad to see that. Ashley Darby, she's like, well, I know I didn't get any money from Michael Darby, but, I'm still trying to get this whole divorce. What? Yeah. Oh, sorry, we're talking about Karen. Yeah, no, Karen. I feel bad for her, but it's just so interesting that she's going now, right before her court date. But I knew she wasn't gonna show up, so I have this picture of her, and I really thought she was gonna bring out a picture of her mugshot or something of her in jail or something. I actually would have been real low of doing that. It wouldn't be surprising, but she pulled out this cute picture of Karen Huger, and she was just like, oh, here she is, and ha ha ha. Okay, whatever, right? Kiarna. Then Wendy, she said it perfectly. She was just like, it's just so interesting that her court day is around the corner, and now all of a sudden she wants to check herself into this whole recovery thing to make her look better. And here goes Kenya. Kenya jumps in and she's like, well, Wendy, you shouldn't be, saying things about that, about Karen. I think that we should give her the benefit of the doubt and, maybe give her a chance and not say things like that. Maybe she just wants help. And Wendy, she shut Kenya down. She was like, this is not Atlanta. This is Potomac. She was just like, no, I feel like you're trying to silence me. No, this is what it is, and it is what it is. Even Mia agreed. Mia was just like, yeah, Stacey, I do agree with what's going on with Wendy. I do agree that Karen is just trying to protect her image. And everybody kind of agree, like, yeah, we all would do the same thing, right? And it's just so funny because I believe that this reunion was filmed not too long ago in 2025, but Karen Huger was just over there having a good time at Kathy Hilton's Christmas party like 2-3 months ago. So what a coinky dink, right? So then Andy Andy actually said, well, we have a video message from Karen Huger herself. So then we see Karen, she's in this white room and she gives a shout out to everybody. I think she gave a shout out to me. She was just like, wow, hello everybody. I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to be dressed to impress at this reunion, but I wanted to give a couple shout outs to a couple of people that helped me on this journey of recovery. To figure out where this whole alcohol issue is coming from, as if I don't know. But I wanted to give a shout out to Giselle Bryant. Even though she doesn't know how to dress, she has been a really good friend. And honestly, you really made me emotional with your letters that you left in the flowers. And Giselle, she starts getting emotional. She starts crying. She's like... But then the second that Karen gave a shout out to Candace, I was shocked. She was just like... I also, even though Candace is not on the show anymore because of, Giselle, I still wanted to give a shout out to Candace. As soon as she said Candace, this was Giselle. I can't believe... Candace? Like her neck almost scrunched up. That's how pissed she looked. She went from emotional to... I can't believe this. I can't believe... Candace? And you just know that Candace was at home watching this episode, laying next to her husband, Santa Claus, with a triangle in her hand, ready to poke her eyes out, getting all emotional, seeing Karen, singing for no reason. You must think I'm playing. Reverse the conversation. Boy, you make me drive back, even when I got an attitude. I may be small. Karen continues with these shout outs. I believe it took up like half the reunion. She gave a shout out to everybody. She gave a shout out to Kyle Richards, Mauricio, Garcelle, Bose, Sutton, Erica Jane, Dorit, PK, Teresa Giudice, everybody from the Real Housewives of Miami. I believe she gave a shout out to the camera people, the setup equipment people. She gave a shout out to me. I think I heard I am Raphael at one point or another, but she continued and I'm like, okay, eventually she's gonna give a shout out to Wendy, right? But that day never came because she was just like, well, I just want to give a shout out to Sharice. I want to give a shout out to Monique Samuels. I want to give a shout out to Mia. I want to give a shout out to Stacey. Am I forgetting anybody else? That's it. I just, as the Grand Dame, I'm going to return as not the Grand Dame, but Karen Huger. And notice how she worded out very perfectly for Andy. She was basically trying to say, when I do come back for season 10, maybe 11 or 12, I'm going to come back, right, Andy? Like she was throwing her fishing line to see if Andy caught it. Andy caught it. Andy was just like, that makes me very emotional. And Wendy, she's just sitting there looking at the message like, I need to use the bathroom. And so then Andy, he notices and he's like, so Wendy, what's going on? Because I noticed that you're unfazed by all of this. And Wendy was just so dramatic and I loved it. She was just like, this video, her not giving me a shout out or a message or anything just lets me know that everything that Stacey said about, her saying about me is true. And that's not my friend. I love the way she said it. That's not my friend. That's going to be me walking around randomly tomorrow, just talking to strangers like, That's not my friend. That's not my friend. I just loved it. And even Mia agreed. She was just like, yeah, I think it's really weird that, you wrote for her and you were defending her. You even came after me in defense of Karen. I just don't get it. She didn't give you a shout out. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Kenya, do you want to say anything then? But Kenya didn't say anything. You probably secretly never liked her to begin with. And Giselle was right too. Who said that? That's a first. Giselle was right when she told Wendy, yeah, remember when I tried to tell you at Monique's house? And I'm like, oh, everybody's giving a shout out. First we got Candace with a shout out, then we got Monique. And we see it in flashbacks that Karen talked shit about Wendy nonstop from the very beginning for no reason, unprovoked. And Wendy never did nothing to her. Wendy was nothing but a good friend to her. Like, you see what happens when you try to take a bitch to the White House to try to get pardoned by the president so you don't go to jail. They end up talking shit about you and turning on you. Like, then they start talking about Wendy's new jobs that she's been doing ever since she retired from being a professor. Now she's a mechanic, an astronaut, a fisherman on the weekends. She does it all. And how that equates to Giselle and her being friends and their newfound friendship, and they start giving each other compliments. And I'm just looking at Giselle like, I'm looking at Giselle like, okay, like, she's been cool this season, right? But then in the back of my mind, season 7, season 8, and even season 6 is replaying in the back of my head like, I don't know, Giselle. Like, is anybody buying it? And I believe they start talking about, Eddie and his Happy Eddie, cannabis business and stuff. And then Giselle, she comes at Kenya and she's like, oh, well, Kenya, she's trying to make her own cannabis called Happy Stacy or something like that. Right, Stacy? Stacy, she's off guard with this. And, she's looking at Wendy and Wendy's looking like, wait, are you going to do this to me? Are you going to do the same thing that Karen did to me? And Stacy, she was just like, no, Wendy, I would never do such a thing like that behind your back. I don't know what Giselle is talking about. I would never partake in things like that. I would be upfront with you and honest. And I'm like, Stacy, I like you a lot, but you're so full of it. Like, Giselle is on to you. So then they start talking about Wendy and her trust fund for her kids. At first, it sounded a little, with all these stipulations. But once she broke it down, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And I'm just looking at everybody else on stage like, nobody better have a thing to say negative about what Wendy has with her kids. Especially you, Ashley Darby. She couldn't even get a trust fund from her ex-husband. Like, just so dumb. Like, you were really with that zombie just sucking and fucking for free. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I wish I would, but... And you too, Giselle. You better not have anything negative to say about her trust fund stipulations, with that oddly looking house of yours. I wouldn't even trust myself walking in without the ceiling caving in on me. And Mia, you and trust... you don't even know what that is. So then Wendy confesses to Stacy, Karen actually told me, be careful of the woman coming into this group. She's very smart and she's very educated. Here goes Giselle. Is she? Whoa, Giselle, whoa. What was that about? In the words of Nene Leakes, I know that first chair doesn't have you feeling that shit. Let me go get my wine. This is crazy. Like, Giselle, you're feeling extra bold now that the Grand Dame is not here. Like, that is crazy. Like, wow. Because any other reunion, Giselle will be target number 1, right? But now all of a sudden she's coming for Stacy, and here goes Stacy. Wow. What's that supposed to mean? Like, Stacy, like, come on now. Like, the same way that you were going back and forth with Karen at the finale, this is your moment right here. And, Giselle is an easy person to go after. Like, come on now. Like, let me give you a list of material. Like, come on now. But she's just standing there, and Wendy was just like, well, yeah, she did tell me that. That's that. And then, they all start speculating that, yeah, Karen has this habit of, trying to be the mother of everybody coming into this group. And yeah, we all see it, that Karen tries to get everybody to kiss her ass. And the second that you don't, she has a problem against you. Wendy, Stacy, the list goes on. Here, and then all of a sudden we start hearing this voice on the end of the couch sitting next to Ashley Darby. And I'm like, who the hell is talking? Oh, it's Kiarna. Kiarna's just like, well, she has been a good person to me. When I got into it with Tickle Me Elmo last season, she was there for me. And I'm just like, who are you again? I'm just playing, Kiarna. I love you. You look good. So Wendy explains it to her like, look, Kay, I love you and all, and I'm rooting for you to come back for next season, even though you didn't really give us much this season, and you should have just stuck to being a friend of the show. But Karen does have a habit of doing this to everybody new to this group. And yeah, Kiarna, you don't see it yet, but trust me, when the time is right, Karen is going to betray you the same way that she did Wendy and now Stacy. Look at the history. And you just know that Mia was sitting there in that first chair, just shaking in her feathers like, I really hope that we keep talking about Wendy or Karen because I really don't know how many more lies I could keep telling about my marriage. Then Jazzy comes out. Who? Exactly. So she comes out, she looks beautiful, she sits down, and they did her so dirty because she was on stage for about maybe 35 to 40 seconds. They called her a side chick twice, and then they told her to go backstage. Like, imagine getting all, glammed up just to get called a side chick and told, oh, you could go backstage, there's refreshments and cookies. Like, the disrespect, right? So she sits down and Andy's just like, so a lot of people have questions with the timeline of your relationship and when exactly you met your fiance/boyfriend and if he was with somebody, and they're calling you a side chick. And Mia, you should have some experience being a side chick yourself, right? So you should also know some experience. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, what was that about, Andy? He said it was a fan question, but no, that was personal. Mia, she was just minding her business, and all of a sudden now she's awake like, wait a minute, huh? What? Like, Mia, please, don't act new to this. You were a professional side chick when you were serving steak and lobster in those ball gowns or wherever you were or whatever. But then Jazzy, she goes on to this whole explanation, this whole monologue or whatever, this whole synopsis that doesn't make sense. And she's like, well, according to my calculations, I remember at the time it was like E=MC² when I met this man. And, I didn't really know of the woman that he was with. So technically she didn't really exist in my world. So technically she wasn't a human, technically, because I never knew that she existed. And yeah, he may have had a child or whatever, but the child didn't exist until a month before me. So that was before me, and before is the past. Now we're in the future. So technically we're in a whole different timeline, right? And I'm like, what the quad say on Married to Medicine again? No, baby, no. I'm just looking at Jazzy like stop. Like, Jazzy, please. I mean, I know you're not going to own up to being a side chick, but I mean, that's what it sounds like, right? Like, this whole timeline sounds crazy. And, now she's getting married to him. And I mean, you better hope that he doesn't do you the same way that he did his ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend or whatever. And, this is coming from a former side chick myself, Well, then again, in my defense, I was only a side chick, for like 2, 3, maybe 4 hours at most. That's it. So, I have a little bit of class. So I'm not technically, a full-on the side chick or whatever, but stupid mother. Oh, but he tasted so good. No, but that was wrong. No, but but it was a fun time. No, but he was with somebody. I should not be proud of that. Oh, but he was so fucking stupid, but the way his hands were. Anyways, but I'm pretty sure that we've all been a side chick, right? Like, raise your hand. Like, come on now, raise your hand. I know if you're watching, raise your hand if you've been a side chick. Come on, don't be ashamed. This is a judgment. What do they say? We listen and we don't judge. I'm judging a little bit, but we listen and we don't judge. Go ahead, you could comment. Put the hand emoji. So Jazzy, there's nothing to be ashamed of, just hope that doesn't happen to you, whatever. And, Jazzy was just very smart with it too, because she was just like, actually, we're getting married and all of you are invited, including you, Andy, AKA, I have a wedding episode that we could film for next season. If you bring me back, you see, I'm getting married, right? And, I'm just like, I see exactly what you're doing, Jazzy. Like, ooh, everybody is so sneaky at this reunion trying to secure their season 10 contract. Now, do we want to see that? I don't know. Unless the guy's girlfriend that he was with before you is there at the wedding too. Unless she's there, I don't want to watch Jazzy. I'm so sorry. I love you though, but you look good. But that was that. So then Andy was just like, okay, well, nice to see you. Go to the back, and I'm just like, that's it. Like, I'm sorry. If I was Jazzy, I would just start drama, just like fake drama for more screen time. Like, Ashley, you smell. Giselle, yeah, you're terrible. Who else can I come with? Mia, your marriage is stupid. Like, I'll just be throwing anything at the wall just to stick around a little longer. So then they started talking about the whole GNA business that I've said it before, that GNA stands for garbage and ass. And then Giselle was on her Sheree Whitfield BS. She was just like, oh, well, it's more like a lifestyle thing, like a leisure wear or whatever. Like, no, we're like nonprofit. Like, we don't get any money out of this. We actually give back to the community. And I'm like, how is your clothing line or whatever you want to call this giving back to the community? Like, you should be giving people eggs, water, food or snacks or something. Like, nobody wants to go around like, oh, I'm really struggling in life. Let me get a GNA shirt. At least that's the way I hope that she didn't mean it. But regardless, that was that. Jazzy was about to do the walk of shame to the back, and then Ashley Darby saved her because she was just like, wait. Let me be messy one more time. What's going on between you and Mia and this whole birthday fiasco, whatever? Come to find out, things get even messier because Jazzy confesses, so does Stacey, that they were invited by Mia to go to Miami to celebrate her birthday, and then Mia just basically, she ghosted them and she disappeared and she never saw them. Typical Mia fashion. That is crazy. They both showed up to Miami. And, we see it in the text messages like, oh, we're excited to see you. We're excited to see you. Mia, she's like, oh my God, I'm so excited to see you too. Like, I can't wait to celebrate together. So Stacey and Jazzy, they show up. They get to the dinner. Nobody's there. Mia stops replying. All of this. And Mia was just like, I never got these text messages. Then Andy, he gets the phone from Stacey. Mia, it says here that you read the message. Oh, Mia, you're so embarrassing. Like I hope that she's not like this 24/7 because if you are, like, it's just way too toxic. Like, these women flew out to Miami for you. The time and money and everything to go see you, to celebrate, and just for what? For all of it to be wasted? Well, I hope it wasn't wasted because if I was them, I'd be like, okay, fuck Mia. Let's go to the club together. But, they were very disappointed by that. And Mia, she was just like, well, no, I didn't ghost you. It's just, I was late to my own dinner. It's my birthday. What do you expect? No, I forgot. And then she starts crying. She sees that everybody was coming at her. And then I believe Andy was just like, wait, did you invite anybody else on this trip? And then Giselle is hilarious with her side comments. Oh, hell no. Like, Giselle, please. So then Mia starts crying. And Wendy, she was fed up between Mia and Karen. She was fed up with everybody's BS. She was just like, look, Mia, I love you, and maybe it's just because I'm in a mood today, but it's just like, no, you always do this when your back is against the wall. She starts crying, she starts getting emotional. That's for everybody on the show, honestly. The second that anything gets a little bit too hot, now, let me cry and, get some sympathy or whatever. And that's what's going on here. Mia, nobody's buying it. You've been a monster the whole entire season, and now all of a sudden now you want people to have sympathy, and this is horrible. You made them waste their time and money to come see you. And Stacey is fed up too. Stacey is pissed. Stacey, the real Stacey almost came out because she was just like, well, look, mister, look, Mia, no, because what you did to me, it was very wrong, and it was very disrespectful to me and Jazzy. Like, we went to Miami to celebrate you, and that was just very disrespectful. It's very rude, and I don't appreciate that. That's just awful behavior. And I'm just like, wow, Kenya, go off on her. But, eventually that was that. Now Jazzy goes and, she does the walk of shame. So everybody goes on break. Oh, we also talked about how Ashley Darby, her divorce or whatever, blah, blah, blah. We go to the back, we see Stacey and Jazzy. Jazzy's trying to get extra camera time by going into her room, and then we see Mia, right? She's going in there or whatever. She's like, Stacey, can I have a word with you? I just want to talk to you for a second. So she goes in and she tells Stacey, Stacey, I just want to say that I'm sorry. I'm just not in the mood right now to be a good friend. I just can't be a good friend with everything going on. And, just like Giselle said, ooh, who said that? Giselle, I'm agreeing way too much with you this reunion. This is very concerning. I need to go take a nap and a shower. And maybe somebody to slap me a couple times. But, Giselle was just like, we're all going through things. Like, what excuse is this, right? And Mia, realistically, what are you going through? Not saying that, to whatever, but like, you have an ex-husband and a boyfriend that's fighting over you. Like, what exactly is it that you're going through? Like, pick one or the other, and that's it. Call it a day. But Stacey was just like, well, right now, I'm really not in the mood or in the position to, forgive you right now completely. So, maybe in the future, but not right now. Like, right now, I'm still very upset about this whole situation. Mia was just like, you know what? It's completely understandable, but I'm just going through a lot right now. But, okay, fine. No, it's okay. So then she walks out, she starts crying, and now she's quitting or whatever. And she was just like, no, I can't. No, I can't. Where's Gordon? Actually, no, where's Ink? Actually, no, where's Gordon? I want to go to Gordon. Actually, no, I think I want to go to Ink. You know what? Can you just bring me both of them? She starts crying, and that's that. And, I think that she comes back because we see her in the preview for next week, but I think she does a couple of these walk-offs next week as well. So we're gonna see her leave the stage, come back a couple of times or whatever. But Mia, nobody feels sorry for you. Like, that is terrible of you to do that to them, and I would be pissed too. But that was that. That was very interesting part one of the reunion. Was Karen needed for this part of the reunion? I don't think so. Now, it's so interesting looking at the cast and seeing what could be without Karen, because I always thought, I don't think that this show could continue without Karen, but I don't know. Maybe it could. Maybe. Emphasis on maybe, but we'll see. Let me know, who do you think was the best dressed at this reunion, and what did you think about part one of this reunion? Bye, everybody. Mwah.